Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man shot dead at St. Thomas Beach. Police in St. Thomas are probing the shooting death of a man at Bailey's Beach in Yales in the parish this afternoon. The man has been identified as Kenneth Powell, who police said was from Poor Man's Corner in St. Thomas and Tivoli Gardens, West Kingston. Police say preliminary investigations have uncovered that around 2:50 p.m., Paul was a patron on the beach when several explosions were heard. The police were alerted and, on their arrival, found the now deceased lying on his back with multiple gunshot wounds. The police said he was clad in a white t-shirt and brown khaki pants with a knapsack on his back. No motive has been established for the killing. Update on St. Mary crash: 3 killed and several others injured. 3 people are dead and at least 5 others are injured following a 2-vehicle collision along the Stewarton Main Road in St. Mary on February 26. The identities of the deceased have not yet been released. Reports were that about 7:20 a.m., a Toyota Succeed motor car, operating as a public passenger vehicle, was traveling along the roadway when it collided with a Toyota Hiace minibus traveling in the opposite direction. Several people received injuries. The police and firefighters were summoned, and the injured persons were taken to hospital, where the taxi operator and 2 other people succumbed. And the Transport Authority Development Sustainable Services is urging operators and other road users to exercise caution on the nation's roadways. His appeal follows a crash along the Stewarton Main Road in St. Mary, which claimed 3 lives, including that of a taxi operator. While noting that the cause of the crash has not yet been determined, TOD's president, Hector Newman, said all road users must exercise caution on the roadways.
We call upon our drivers, our motorists, understand that speed kills. Slow down. Despite the fact that the numbers at this time last year was greater, it does not mitigate the importance of safe driving.
Westmoreland farmer killed, house set ablaze. A man was shot to death and his house set on fire in Belfair District in Betheltown, Westmoreland, Sunday morning. He has been identified as Adrian Simmet, a 33-year-old farmer. Police have confirmed that Simmet was reporting on condition of bail at the Betheltown police station for the murder of a man committed in Lilliput, St. James in 2020. It was reported that around 12:18 a.m., residents heard loud explosions and subsequently saw fire coming from Simmet's house and contacted the police. On arrival, lawmen saw one apartment concrete structure on fire. A unit from the Montego Bay Fire Station extinguished the fire, but the house and its contents were completely destroyed. Police said Simmet's body was later discovered lying on the floor on the right side under a bed with gunshot wounds to his head and his body slightly burnt but recognizable. The body was transported to the Savannah Lamar Hospital where it was pronounced dead. Police, upon processing the scene, found 6 9mm spent casing. No motive has been established for the killing. Cops recovered more stolen chicken feed, 2 more suspects held. Police today recovered more bags of chicken feed, which were among 600 stolen, when a truck was hijacked in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Saturday. The feed, found during a raid by police, complements the more than 400 which were recovered yesterday when the police found the flatbed international truck that was taken from the driver. The police say 2 persons were taken into custody for the latest recovery. This brings to 3 the number of suspects now held in connection with the robbery. Information reaching reporter is that around 3:20 p.m. today, a police team carried out a snap operation on Bond Street, Kingston 14. There, 62 bags of stolen chicken feed were found inside a house with an undetermined amount seen inside a bus used to transport them to the location. Police had reported that the truck was transporting 600 bags of chicken feed and fertilizer to Spalding, Clarendon, when occupants in a grey motor car signaled the driver that he had an oil leak along the Old Harbour Main Road. The driver pulled over and made checks but saw no oil leaking from the truck. When he attempted to reboard the vehicle, 2 men accosted him. They tied him up and placed him inside the truck, then drove the vehicle away. The robbers reported they drove the truck to a location on East Road, Kingston 12, where men were waiting. The men, the police said, unloaded some of the goods from the truck. A team from a popular security company responded to the robbery and went to the area. Upon seeing the security guards, the men made their escape in several motor vehicles. One suspect was held by the security personnel and later handed over to the police. A motor car driven by the suspect was also seized. Police later recovered the truck around 7:45 p.m. on a football field in the same community with 442 bags of feeding/fertilizer. Curfew in Granville, St. James extended. The curfew imposed in the community of Tucker in Granville, St. James has been extended. The extension began at 6 p.m. on Saturday, February 25th, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Monday, February 27. The boundaries are north along the Tucker Main Road, about 818 meters from Sabina's Seafood Place to the intersection with Chambers Drive. East along Chambers Drive, about 1,152 meters from the intersection with the Tucker Main Road to Granville Police Station at the southern boundary. South, continuing along Chambers Drive, about 667 meters from Granville Police Station to the intersection with Fairfield Main Road. West along Fairfield Main Road, about 1,582 meters from the intersection with Chambers Drive to Sabrina's Seafood Place at Tucker Main Road. During the curfew, all persons are required to remain in their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. Youth Minister renews call for church to help rescue children from crime and violence. Minister of Education and Youth Favor Williams has again called on the church to play its part in helping to rescue children from a life of crime and violence. She made the call while speaking at the African Worship Service at the Evangelic Temple Deliverance Center in Portmore, St. Catherine on February 26, noting that there has been several incidents of violence in schools in recent times. Mrs. Williams called on churches to help to steer children on the right path. She said the church can instill good values in the nation's children.
We believe you are powerful channels and an ally in the quest to see a change in behavior among our children that so often causes much dismay. I am sure you are seeing the videos on social media of our children fighting in schools, children on children, students on students, students on teachers, vice versa, sometimes teachers on students. This is not where we want to be, church. This is absolutely not where we want to be. And you can be a strong ally with us to go out into the highways and byways, bring our children into church on Sunday mornings, yes, and bring the parents too. We want our churches to also spread the word, be that positive influence. So instead of our children gravitating to a song that is calling them to be fully done, let us spread the word that they can be fully bright. I know we have some of our entertainers who are coming on board to take that message across Jamaica, that all of our children can be fully bright. So let us continue to pray for and support each other in practical ways and in our encouragement.
Marcus Garvey in Schools project to be expanded to more institutions. A program that facilitates the teaching of the philosophies of Jamaica's first national hero Marcus Garvey in schools is to be expanded. This after the Education Ministry applauded the Marcus Garvey in Schools Foundation for work done under a pilot project in 22 early childhood institutions last year and indicated its support for the project to be extended to 23 more schools this year. While addressing a welcoming and key presentation ceremony at Liberty Hall in Resource, Manchester, Garvey's son, Dr. Julius Garvey, read a letter from the ministry giving the go-ahead for the program to continue. Dr. Garvey noted that the time is right for what he called the rebirth of Garveyism.
The Ministry of Education and Youth supports all efforts designed to impact the lives of Jamaicans in ways that will reflect greater sense of pride in self and in nationhood, consistent with Vision 2030 of Jamaica's National Development Plan, making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. In this context, the Ministry of Education and Youth applauds your efforts, and that is our Major White, in leading the Marcus Garvey in Schools program, and hereby grants permission for the program to be piloted in the selected schools, and that comes from the Chief Education Officer, Cassandra. So that's the go-ahead for the program. And if you know Major White, you know that just means he's changing gear from low gear to high gear. So we have permission now, all of us have permission then to work with Major to make our mission, which is to teach Garveyism, this philosophy. And this philosophy is important in so many ways, both in terms of religion, in terms of education, in terms of sociology, in terms of business, in terms of organization. So it's a foundational philosophy for all Jamaicans, and indeed for all African people, and indeed even for the world, because I believe it's a universalist philosophy. The time is right for us to, shall we say, rebirth Marcus Garvey in Jamaica. We know that Garvey was about excellence, so we know that the program that we put into the schools will be excellent, and it will turn out young Garveyites, getting them from the ages of 5 and 6, when their minds are fresh and they can be imprinted with truth and knowledge that allows them to be very conscious of themselves, very proud of themselves, and very proud of their history, because their history is the longest history in the world. Their civilization is the oldest civilization in the world. They need this knowledge.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell